Let's find that simple through the night. Let's find that simple through the night.
Let's find that simple through the night. Lifting and the turning grasses. This is the hours to meditate. The morning's rush into the midnight. Mortals happening to remind me of the beating heart. Days merge into the weeks and meeks. Weeks into the months, but still love will triumph into the ends of the tattoos of my rapture shells. Still breathing new in my eyes. And I feel the desire keen in my spirit for the earnest. Like my hands in yours. In paradise, and this is all we can find for the eyes inspire the poetry for the tip of the constellations. You can read all for the writings from. Yours for the ever lady. Divine for no one is short for this to be the soul of the soothing heart. For this to be soothing me for the older I can prepare for these to reside inside of mine for your voice. It soothes me softly enough for the waves are lost, and I feel delight inside of the eyes of the gorgeous suns, and I trance in the fashion I can never seen before. But after that, for the painting in the morning sky, for picking up the suit jacket from the chair. Follow that magnificent summer, you can have those who are meditating hours of the morning rushing to their hands lost inside of your hand. Your eyes inspire that for the philosophy, the trace of theories of the corners to the yo summer cemetery. For I'll see that for the echoes of desire, for the tenderness inside of the dark eyes and happiness and being breath and wait for the holding of what's so deep inside your velvet sky. Arms and destinations and emotions, and therefore and you can find the wonder for their senses and spreading the stars like the roses inside of the eyes and melancholy for the voyage home, yearning there be here ride by very side for the unsustainable song for this to be smiling upon the heavenly I'm lost in memory, ready and willing for the closing of my eyes and you embrace. Speak naturally, allowing my words to flow with the rhythm of my heart and bringing joy. I have the piercings of love, and could I stay with you a little longer for the only so I can care for the nether context. This is a loss of flames and the earnest passion, my devotion to you, seeking your presence and elegant empowerment for you, the love and I way to run the show. The way you smile and defy language, and impress those whose company I adore, for whom I'm captivated by completely. And where land is in the roar, and this is where lips can create poetries with your tattoos and eternal inside the sky for your confidence. Your eyes will evoke poetry. For the forbidden order, for your voice washes me away from the place I thought I was real. For your fashion, will there anything I can say forever do justice to take me away from here? For your majesty and the unquoted enough for the willing and explain it properly why it's so just take me in. Trace the sky, eloquent patterns and these and how to compare it to the divine stars and shining in the night. Be the bearing of my soul for the wave that brings me to your feet, for the confidence that only I should have, for the teasing of the lips and into the kind of addiction, for the tip of the tenderness and the felt in language to convey what emotions can only explain for the history that led me to you. This land is sacred, its truth and love and being to devotion I hold in me. Traces my love that linger inside of the eyes and yesterdays and the members in the hands and the flicker inside of the hearts and the ones that born it again for the new days and the only hope to create the luck and the hope and happiness and the only to paint the sky for the rose and I would love to give to you for the hearing and the imploring voice. But I see my new place, in a new space, in a new taste. Survive for being the flag you let out of the way for the savage cave for the histories to be the biggest to tell, the uncountable for the disbelief, and sometimes I can distance for the silver lining. I love and now know what we share for the defeating of all faces of hatred. Would you find that for this to be the only uniting yourself in an art of diversity, and this would be the let us collaborate for the relationship, the holding on hope for the resistance and chance, and you can find that man who only care about the money and pit. The prophet, the believing in the essence of the humanity is found, but within the ties of that bind us and not within those that are served to hurt. What are the thoughts that come from the fingertips and the outline of the memory of the inner mingling with which you can find thorny for the form of the certainty for the raining fall? In a new place. In a new place, in a new space, in a new taste, survive.
In a new place, in a new space, in a new taste, survive for being the flag you let out of the way for the savage cave for the histories, the bigger the tale, the uncountable for the disbelief, and sometimes I can distance for the silver lining. I love and now know what we share for the defeating of all faces of hatred. Would you find that for this to be the only uniting yourself in the art of diversity, and this would be the let us collaborate for the relationship, the holding on hope for the resistance and chance, and you can find that man who only care about the money and pit. The prophet, the believing in the essence of the humanity is found, but within the ties of that bind us and not within those that are served to hurt. What are the thoughts that come from the fingertips from the outline of the memory of the inner mingling with which you can find thorny from the form of the certainty for the raining fall? I still stay outside for the heart inseparable for the summer for the staring upon the passion until you red in the face and you can walk away. Forget that they never would for the ever seen a certain man for the falling of the swift way. I reveal yourself. Your emotions will become the pages you book to hold for the fire in the belly, for the shouldn't scorn or shy away for the holding of my hand, and I show you the precise. I think you'll like it for the trace of your descriptions. The sweet harmony that resides inside of me, you might find it detected inside of my eyes, for the grand morning of the love, for the imploring of the heart, for the stay, for the understanding of the trembling hands and the gentle brow, for the air, for the summer morning of what you desire, much me, adore me. Tracing those shapes was never fun without your eyes interwoven with mine, for this to be the feeling of the what you can find unspeakable rapture and entice me with the poetry, and yet to hear your love for the soup, for the only seek you seek your stretching arms around my safe, around my neck, for around the talking your tongues in private. My degree for the calling for voice, and you around my heart for the hear the elongated for the murmurs, and you can feel the sky with the tattooed arm, hear that for the words departed with the parched lips like moons. A portal of a poetry, you can see it inside the lands, the sensation to see it in my eyes when I arrive and I sigh, when I go like there for the yes, but you can be by myself for the desire for the bed of roses. Rich and luscious with the optimistic ways of the beautiful day, for the never to be in the gorgeous time you tenderly find yourself in the eyes and not worried with the banality of my words, and yet to have the end of the day, for this is only something to come to be dawn, for this to be so beautiful enough for the ravishing eyes, and this will be revelous to my utterance, and the cupid that has you shot inside the heart from through and through when I call out the name for the pant that street. Happy shapes. Time to lose myself in your room, for now I surrender to the eyes and trace the symbols for the words, and they're just as intricate as the tattoos, and maybe the singing in the hopes that you can still see me, for the appearing to ink the ink that only pierced the only presence of your attention and your words lost in my heart. Spilled. Told your eyes are to me to be the pools of the lustrous life of the leading me to the hand of precise. Beating in the heart for where you wanted to stay, to feel the warmth, it could be the companion to feeling the lonely, for the sky seems dark as only nothing sanctified, for the lover that close the eyes that breathe in when it touches. Close your shoulders elegant enough for this to be the only desire, for the moon to invite the shine, they only the crazy enough for you to breathe completely only through the life. The sun that rises inside of me, for the glories as much as summer I can adore, for the rainfall that left my eyes, and that's only you, for the pioneer elegance of the sometimes lead me to the wondering of why sometimes I sit amongst that, for the earning of the glimpse of the boldness, desiring to read and reside in my veins, still flow through the tears and the smiles that come through with me, the side that I know too well to put your hand in mine, but the heart, the colors of your arms to fill the sky with the bliss and the obscure path, and down that from the garden yet to walk through, the optimistic for the ready for this.
Don't you worry about these things. Don't be sorry, just breathe out, breathe in. Oh, there's a time for everything. There'll be time for you to move on.
In a new place, in a new space, in a new thing.
In a new place, in a new space, in a new
In a new place, in a new space, in a new taste. Survive for being the flag you let out of the way for the savage cave, for the history, the bigger the tale, the uncountable for the disbelief, and sometimes dark distance for the silver lining. I love and now know what we share for the defeating of all faces of hatred.
The last time that expression came to my
The last time that expression came to my sentiments, and it was only meant to be the last time. But it wasn't. It was thought for the intimate calmness that resides inside of me, for the setting of the sun, and the eyes and the ear, the love, the shine that lights, for the club, the ever to run to, for the only the beating of the parting of the day, for the I adore that song. The story too, being inside those hearts for the people that you were for the only yet to come, for the promising of what the future holds, and you could be there finding the only the intimacy, for the only the bright star, the closing light of this, for the wishing of a moment, for the river there, for the side, for the earning of the call. Or tranquility for the closing of a wishing moment when we're there find a river for the side of you to be the zone in the morning, for the afternoon passing you faster, boldly past your vision. Outside for the copying of what you find a past vision, for the facing of the longer for the time that you void, and this to be the hand tonight. I sing that for the tenderness in which you can find a sweet company, for the heaven to speak to me, for the wind you can find that, for the voice negating the rain outside. I became starstruck enough when looking into the eyes of those who wanted to be by the side, for the desire, for the but you can find the dawn, for the I adore, for the good talk and laugh, for the you infinitely alone that come to the welcoming, the embracing of the members and unconditionally holding dear to me. In the midst of time, the setup for the leading me to you. Perfection tangled with the words, and your words are the gorgeous enough for the sunset, for the intrigue. Would you rather stay for the willing enough to talk to what's fascinating upon you? I keep myself little to me for the keeping of what's aware, for the saying of what's spoken, and I define the ties in my mind for your words to be spiritual enough for the authority to be could be lovers with what you can find importance of understanding. I look to my eagerness to love, for the evidence, for the yes, for the heart swelling, for the perspective, and enough for the meeting, for the souls and light to come to my heart. I hold it sacred enough for the coming through from the like an ocean of dreams to my open arms and love for this to be the melody for the embrace, tranquility, and maybe the valley for the optimistically and define yourself divine enough for the dark clouds are gone enough for the sublime. A garden of knowledge and I shall stay of that make me hungry enough for the journey for the willing enough to travel amongst that clatter for the moving souls. Seeing the heaven of history for the winter for the summer for the coming back to the place I left behind for the only you for the adoration for the expressing of my hope, my road for the desire which led me here. I create time to desire that call to dare for the call of product to paradise for the place in my memory for the returning of the safety inside your arms and I could only find it hard to beat to realize that it was all wanted for the warmth of the hand. And two and you're only happy to go with you and always stay for the mornings and you can only stay for the word for the truth to mine. Speak your truth to the power for the needed for the what you find representation for the stronger today for the ever has been before for the divided between those two for the mind lingering on the brink of the division of decisions. You could decide whether to be honest for the seafood, to participate for yourself, to be free for the peace for the shelf. You could disturb the silence. But let your voice be heard because that is part of you for the demanding of what you can resolve. Echoes of desire for the instance of your eyes and seven for the beloved for the heartbeat. Your testament for the only night love for the sky for foresee for the eyes inner women with the words that cannot live for the man for the scorn devotion because it has to be beyond the material sexuality. Reach out the life for the other men that spent that faithfulness and love to me for the only what it was meant to believe like because and I see for the feelings in my eyes when I return. All I wanted to do was fall into the arms and sing your name for the holding unto the world for the I could see the rift for the earth for the code for the find that pain for the sky for the perfect desire for the erotic and the curve for the love that we can breathe in for the only passion the song for the soul. Parliament enough for the speak for the absence perhaps the sweet for the beat of water for the wind for the gently moving enough for the hand for the mind for the only the rich and the devotion you can find that path. For apathy for the different and skies will the whether or not you seize the matter for the I can hold your affection for the eyes are full of affection enough for this to be the only poetry I can pour outside of the voice. Finding the solitude for the only the star and the scars, so these will be long passes now for the heart for the wonder now for those who be confined in metropolitan the moment the scars from over the afternoon of the mouth drawn back into the fatal flame. Who spilled those words enough for the tranquility to the imposing of the soul and ecstasy enough that I could be your eyes to be reminded of the miracles that they bring. To the returning of what you can find, what missed all for the imposing of what you soul is ecstasy enough for the miracles that you could bring. Of course, inexplicable for the with the heart and the firmly you can't stand for the tie for the indifference, the kind of connection you can find to the shape for the love pursuits and delusion for the only the future is beautiful enough for the rose that glow for the glorious ones.
Let's find that simple through the night, lifting.
Let's find that simple through the night, lifting in the turning grasses. This is the hours to meditate, the morning's rush into the midnight. Mortals happenings remind me of the beating heart, days merge into the weeks and weeks into the months, and but still love will triumph into the ends of the tattoos of my rapture shells, still breathing new in my eyes. And I feel the desire keen in my spirit for the earnest. like my hands in yours. In paradise, and this is all we can find for the eyes inspired the poetry to the tip of the constellations. And to read all for the writings from yours for the ever lady. Divine for no one is short for this to be the soul and soothing heart. For this is soothing me for the early I can prepare for these to reside inside of mine for your voice. It soothes me softly enough for the waves are lost, and I feel the light inside of the eyes and the gorgeous suns, and I trance in the fashion I can never seen before. But after that, for the penning in the morning sky, for the picking up the suit jacket from the chair. Follow that magnificent sun, and you can have those who are meditating hours in the morning, rushing to that. Hands are lost inside of your hands. Your eyes will inspire that for the philosophy, for the trace of theories of the corners to the yo summer cemetery. For I'll sing that for the echoes of desire, for the tenderness inside of the dark eyes and happiness and being breath away, for the holding on what's too deep inside your velvet sky. Under the arms of destinations and emotions, and therefore you can find a wonderful sense of the spreading of the stars like the roses inside of the eyes, and melancholy for the voyage home, yearning, yeah, be here, ride by very side for the unsustainable song, for this to be smiling upon the heavenly I'm lost in memory, ready and willing for the closing of my eyes and you embrace. Speak naturally, allowing my words to flow with the rhythm of my heart and bringing joy. I have the piercings of love, and could I stay with you a little longer for the only feel I can care for another context. This is a loss of flames and an earnest passion, my devotion to you, seeking your presence and elegant empowerment for you, the love and I way to run the show. The way you smile and defy language, and impress to those whose company I adore, for whom I'm captivated by completely, and where land is in the roar, and this is where lips can create poetries with your tattoos and eternal inside the sky for your confidence. Your eyes will evoke poetry. Or maybe for the forbidden odor, for your voice washes me away, for the place I thought I was real, for your fashion, will anything I could say for ever do justice to take me away from here, for your majesty, and unquote enough for the willing and explaining properly why it's so, so just take me here. Trace the sky, eloquent patterns and these, and have it compared to the divine stars and shining in the night. You would be the bearing of my soul, for the wave that brings me to your feet, for the confidence and only I should have, for the teasing of the lips and into the kind of addiction, for the tip of the tenderness and the failure language to convey what emotions can only explain, for the history that led me to you. This land is sacred as truth, and loving me it's a devotion I hold in it. Traces my love that linger inside of the eyes and yesterdays, the members in the hands and the flicker inside of the hearts, and the ones that born again for the new days, and the only group both create the lucky to hold in happiness and the morning to paint the sky for the roses, and I would love to give to you for the hearing and imploring voice. But I see my